Hey, what's up, guys? This is Woodie Landeros. You guys are listening to Shut Up and Fail. Today, I'm going to be interviewing a music artist by the name of Adrian Gamboa. How's it going, Adrian?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. Just chilling.
Nice. So, for all of the people that don't know who you are exactly, can you kind of just give a little summary?
Okay. Let's see. So I'm a music artist. I produce, write, record, engineer all my own stuff. Also design anything that's like a visually related, like cover art, for example. And yeah, I've just been doing it for I want to say like 10 years now. And
10 years.
yeah.
When was that? When did you start? So how old are you right now?
I was 13 when I started, and I'm 24 currently. So I guess it's more like 11 years now going. But yeah, I don't remember what year it was exactly. What was that? It was probably like
That's a
08.
long time.
Yeah.
That's a really long time. I didn't even know that. I actually thought you started around high school.
Yeah. That's when I really started putting stuff out
Yeah.
online. But I had
Yeah, I was doing a
I
little bit of
started-
researching online.
Yeah.
I saw that you said one time that you started out from MySpace.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
MySpace.
that's what it was. Yeah.
And then it built up and you got more serious around high school.
Mm-hmm.
So going from, just pretty much looking at your daily routine, what does that look like?
Well, to be honest, every day is different, but I try to do something that's music related for at least 4 to 8 hours of the day on a daily basis. That can be either researching songs or artists that I like, and just for inspiration, or teaching myself how to do something new when it comes to graphics or producing beats, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll just try to do something related to music every single day, aside from like the regular everyday type stuff like doing chores and
Nice. What kind of artists do you
feeding
listen to?
yourself. I'm a huge Kanye West fan. That's probably like my biggest source of inspiration when it comes to production and just overall artistry, as well as J. Cole for the same reason. I think I tend to gravitate to artists that both produce and rap, mainly because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I'm a big fan of like East Coast hip hop. Like I love Nas. Let's see. Currently, what I listen to. Damn.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll just name off some names real quick. Like John Bellion. I love Chicago rap. Like All Save Money, Vic Mensa, Tokyo, Chance the Rapper, Joey Perp, Kami. Dang, like there's so many. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
Daniel was just on yesterday, and before the podcast started, we were playing Kanye, and he was saying that if it's not Kanye, it's not music. That's what he was saying. He was joking around. So, what do you enjoy most about all that? I know you said that you make graphic designs.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do all of your own designs?
Yeah. So at least I want to say, I don't know when it started, because Daniel actually used to help me with that stuff, and then he started lagging on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it myself. But I've been
calling you out, man.
Yeah, I am calling you out. No, but I started doing like graphic design since I was in middle school too. So for the same reason, basically from day one, I just wanted to set myself up so I didn't have to go to anybody for anything.
You're like a Renaissance man.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I see you as a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Just make your own music, do all like. I mean, you just released a video behind the scenes.
Yeah.
With your most recent song.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I really like when people show the entire process, because I feel like that's where you can really pretty much digest the personality of an artist.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what brings people closer to the person.
Yeah.
Connected to the music. So basically, what it's been a concept in my mind for a while now. I just haven't really put in that much time into doing it, because it's tough to get somebody to follow you around with the camera when you're like not known or famous or anything.
When you're not like Gary
like
Vee.
that. Yeah. So I've been trying to figure out how I can do it and how to present it in a way that makes sense. So right now, like, it's still like a learning process. Like, I want to improve the quality of the video and everything, but at the same time, I just wanted to put something out and just have it be authentic. And just kind of like leave an impression. So that's the purpose of releasing that video. And for the same reason that you're talking about, just kind of, give people an insight to who I am, because I feel like people don't really know who I am as a person. They just see the Instagram and like, oh, he dropped the song.
Yeah. That was my biggest issue, was just starting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't release anything for so long because I was worried about what the caption was, what the photo
Yeah.
was, if somebody's gonna like it or not. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, if you don't post it, I mean, people are receiving so much
Yeah.
information, and you're just gonna go by.
Exactly.
And so, like, as an artist, just being able to open up and becoming 100% vulnerable
Hmm.
is like where the improvement starts.
Yeah. I think being an artist takes courage, um, like more than people realize. And there's always like that moment where you're just like, dang, is anybody even gonna like this? Especially
Mhm.
with social media being so heavy, it's like, oh
Yeah.
man, I only got this many likes, whatever. But at the end of the day, like at least lately, I've been telling myself like it doesn't matter. Like I put my heart into this,
Yeah.
and at least one person sees the true value, and
Mhm.
that's what counts.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been on it, man. I've been seeing you like every single day. It's crazy. My favorite part is like watching the processes inside of the studio.
Hmm.
Is I feel like well, another thing that Daniel and I were talking about yesterday was the process of creating a logo and coming from the start to the finish.
Yeah.
And usually you hide the start because that logo probably looks really crappy.
Yeah. You go
And
through a
like
few
just being able to
proofs.
show like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Oh no, that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Let's try something else. I'm gonna try this. Oh no, that didn't work out. And then it creates a lot of value behind it because you put in a lot of hours. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous,
Yeah. No,
ridiculous.
yeah. Yeah.
So do you ever
There's a
get
lot of
into
time that
like
goes into it.
some like how do you handle creative blocks? Like, do you ever go through those?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, I don't know if every artist does, but I would guess that every artist goes through creative blocks.
Hmm.
But as far as how I go about dealing with it, to be honest, it's gonna sound weird, but sometimes I'll listen to my old music, and I know that probably sounds weird, but the purpose for that is just like remembering, like, look at what you've done so far. Like you can improve on this, and also be inspired by the fact that you even put this out to begin with.
Yeah,
And then I'll also listen to a lot of other music. I'll listen to new music. Sometimes I'll go out with people, try to be social in some way, um, and then
so
get energy
would
from that
say
and put that into creating something.
I would say you step back.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you guys don't know what that is, explain.
It's a song. It's a song that I put out a while ago with a friend who's a talented other artist from LA, from Hollywood, Prince Rashid. And it's just like a hype, fun song that I produced and wrote and invited him to feature on it, and he came up with the chorus with me, and it's honestly one of my favorite songs.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like one of those songs that I put out and people like didn't realize what it was or haven't really heard it.
uh-huh.
But then like I'll have some people be like, "Yo, I just heard this. That shit was tight."
Yeah,
Like,
this is a song that I drive to.
yeah.
Like you got like if you want to drive fast, you put on Step Back. It's crazy. So
Please
what do
don't
you
try that.
So what are you most known for? Like what would you say your stamp is?
Probably heating up. I would say like I'll run into people that that know my music and they'll just be like, "Hey, what's up, AG? Oh, I got the juice." So probably heating up, I would say.
Oh, that's what my brother and I say whenever we drink our pre-workouts in the morning.
Yeah.
We're like, I got the juice.
That's funny.
So how about what project? What's your favorite project that you've ever worked on? Like maybe not even the end result, but the
Like the
process
process?
and the end result, everything. Like
Mm.
what's your most favorite
Man,
project
that's
that,
a
that you
hard
just
question.
sit down and you say, this is the one. Like this feels good. This is why I do this.
Okay, I guess the way I'm gonna answer that is by picking out a specific song that's my favorite song that I've written, and I would probably say, honestly, it's hard. It's gonna be between You or You Part Two,
Mm.
just because I feel like those are my most well written songs.
Yeah.
As far as it just feels complete and full, and just like this is exactly how I wanted it to come out. You
Yeah.
know. But just for the sake of replay value, I'm gonna say You Part Two.
Yeah. I really like You Part Two.
Yeah.
I like You Part One, and
Thank
I thought that it couldn't have gotten any better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listened to You Part Two, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. I
he
think
did
You
it
Part Two is
again.
like the more
There's a
mature
lot of
version.
emotion like
Yeah.
that went into it. So before I ask you the main question of this entire podcast, I wanted you to kind of explain some of your achievements and
Okay.
just like take a moment to hype yourself up.
Oh,
just
man.
just throw it out there like I did this, I've done this. I'm gonna give you that permission.
Okay.
Just do it. Just
All
tell
right.
people what you're about.
Let's see. Things I've done. To be honest, disclaimer just before I go and talk about anything. I don't feel like I've done much or like I've done enough close to anything that I really want to accomplish. But Let's see. I guess if we're listing things, I've had the privilege to open up for a lot of artists that I'm a fan of. Some names include Lupe Fiasco, E40, Action Bronson, Kid Ink, I Am Sue, Pilo Cool John, Futuristic, who else?
Two
Two
Chains.
Chains, Two Chains.
I have a.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was waiting for that name.
Two
You
Chains.
said you said it last. And Two Chains has a quote.
Mm-hmm.
My whole story is just about me having a second chance. I think that's awesome.
That's tough.
Like when I had researched it and I was like looking at the stuff that you're doing, I saw that and I was like, I feel like that's just so like that matches what like you've been doing.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like
agree.
you had like a first phase of like, okay, I'm doing this, and then something switched. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just said like, this is it. Like, no, look at me. Like it's kind of like when Kanye was like, I am a god.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring this up because I was just talking about this with somebody, with a friend. I was saying how like as an artist or just like I think every person goes through this is such an important moment. Like there's a moment where it's gonna sound weird, but where I realized my potential and like who I was.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like it before I was like, oh yeah, I'm trying to be a rapper or an artist. But now it's like, no, I am an artist.
Yeah.
You know? And like I know that. But
Yeah.
nobody else knows that, you know.
Yeah.
That's why when you walk in front of someone, you're like, oh, I make music. And like, oh, you too? You know what I mean? But it's like they don't know. So now my job, it's like I convinced me, I know who I am. But now my job is just to convince everyone else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I always feel like since we're both in Riverside, I always go to Guitar Center and I get different instruments, and for some reason your name always pops up. Like they're musicians as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've reached the point where they said that this is like my life.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always talking about you like it's a whole nother genre. Like it's like both of you guys are making music, but you're like, no, like this is my life.
This is my life, for sure.
And that's serious. Like you can feel it. You can feel it. It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad.
And it moves other people because, you know, then like for me, I want to take everything that I'm doing very seriously now and just start somewhere. Because you live in this analysis paralysis for a while because you don't even believe in yourself.
Yeah. And if you don't believe in yourself, who is, you know?
Nobody, but maybe your mom.
Yeah. That's true.
So now that we brought you up,
okay,
I want to ask you what your biggest failure is in your career so far. Really think about it.
Okay. Just off the top, just the biggest one is the fact that I'm nowhere near where I want to be yet. Despite all the effort and work and hours that I put in the past 10 years of my life, nobody really knows who I am. That's my biggest failure.
So would you say that you're currently going through that?
Yes. I've always been going through it, but I feel like the longer it goes on for, the more difficult it becomes.
Yeah.
You know? Because then you, like, everybody has doubts, and, like, those doubts always stay there. So it's always, like, a constant battle. But, yeah, I would say that's the biggest failure. It's like it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
And even if I had a song tomorrow that just goes viral, I still would feel this failure because it's like that's just one song. Let's get 2 songs. Let's get 3 songs and so on. You know?
I think it's the constant. I mean, I think some people have this in them that they always have this constant search for success, and some of us don't even know what it is. Like I have no idea, like what my moment is gonna be when I feel like I made it. Like I'm always afraid of that because I feel like I'm gonna get old one day. And I'm gonna look back and say, like, I still need to make something.
Yeah.
That's scary for me. Yeah. That's really scary.
Regret. Yeah.
And like you said, making the big song, like sometimes it's not even that. It's not even about how much like money you made on a project or like how good a song is. It's about just constantly like putting yourself out there and just being like okay with getting better.
Yeah.
Not necessarily becoming a winner by night. But just by always doing something better. The last check that I got from my last job, I don't want to sound like cocky or anything, but I'll just say it because it's important and it's a big lesson I learned in my life. Okay. I made $13,000 in the matter of like one day, and I almost started crying because I didn't feel like I deserved it. When I worked my freaking ass off for it, but I felt like, what's next? Like, what's next? What's next?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I got you. I
It's
understand
crazy.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think I mean, it relates to what you're just saying, what you just said. Uh, I think the biggest and most important thing is realizing that there is no destination necessarily. Like it's
Hmm.
just the entire process. Like the whole point is being happy and having fun.
Yeah.
Like that's why I make music.
Yeah. So how did so going from the perspective that you have right now,
Mhm.
and then from when you first started, how would you explain like the evolution of it?
Of
Like
my
what
music
changed in your
or
mind, like mentally?
of just like creating.
Yeah.
I think I realized that this is really who I am. Like I'm not faking it.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to be something. I am something.
Yeah.
And that's what that moment when I realized like I am an artist. I have the power and ability to create dope things.
Yeah.
And I have a responsibility to make things that are dope and make people feel a certain way.
Hmm.
That's when I was like, I need to do this every single day.
Yeah. How about other people? How did they react? Like, was everybody 100% on board?
I think it's like something that it's more of an internal thing. Like I don't think there was like a moment where everyone's like, oh shit, like there's a big change in
Yeah.
you. I think it's more so like like it's up to me. Like I have to create the pattern, release a bunch of stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like you were saying, people become affected by that because they see it
Yeah.
and they're like, yo, damn, he's really on it, or that shit's tight. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I need to get on my stuff, you know.
Hmm.
And I think that benefits everybody because we all win.
Yeah. It's just constant movement.
Exactly.
Yeah. And keeping that momentum.
Hmm.
So for all of the musicians starting out, or pretty much like if you can tell yourself one piece of advice from
Yeah,
the beginning of your career, like what would you tell young
Adrian.
AG?
Um, I would tell myself that rap is not really about rapping, and that music, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is not about. It's basically just supposed to feel good and feel right, and don't try so hard to mimic something else, or uh, don't do it just because like you want to be a rapper or be like just do it because it feels right. Like don't do it because it's a trend or a fad. Do it because it feels right. And do it honestly and authentically.
That's awesome. That's amazing advice. Thank you. So now the second, or I'd say probably even the first hardest question to ask is, what advice would you give me as I continue on my journey? Like, be
Okay.
100% serious. Like, you know, the stuff that you're like, man, why doesn't Woody,
Okay. I got
just
you.
say it right
I know
now.
exactly what I'm gonna say.
Be 100%
All right.
honest with me.
My advice to you, and it's advice that I'm giving to myself as well, is don't overthink everything because then nobody gets the end result. So who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so just do shit. Do
Just
a
do
bunch of
shit.
shit. Yeah, just do shit.
I like that. That's what we're going to do. So if you could sum up your career in one word, what would that one word be? Just one word.
Struggle.
Struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. You still going through it.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Like it's sometimes I look at like the people that I look up to and I feel like, oh, they have no worries.
Mm-hmm.
You
They
know,
do.
they're successful, they're happy, they're living it. Like
They
why
don't.
why can't I be like that? But at the same time, when you talk to them and you ask them, they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing too, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, how are you trying to like, you know, reach people through
Yeah.
social media? I don't know. How are you doing it?
Yeah.
So everybody's like in this same little level,
Yeah.
and they have to realize it, that when you're starting out, and that even when you're like almost there to quote unquote success, you still have that same feeling in you that you just don't know at times.
Yeah. No,
You know,
I agree. I think everyone really doesn't know what they're doing. We're just all figuring it out.
I don't know what I'm
And
doing.
that's the dope part.
I don't know what I'm doing. This used to be actually, let's go back to why I even have mics. I was trying to make a music group because I saw what AG was doing, and that's just how like short of like my attention span is. I looked over and I was like, he's making music. We can make music. Let's do this. And
You
then
still
like
can and you
doing
should.
it, it's just about like always doing better and just going for it and like accepting the failure and then learning that it's gonna be a transition. And now it turned into a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have never thought about that when I bought the mic off you,
Right.
but it's a podcast now.
Boom.
Boom.
Butterfly effect.
So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to plug yourself in. Say every single
Okay.
everybody that you want to like tag, shout
All right.
out. This is your moment.
Okay. So you can find me at AG Not For Sale. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. AG Not For Sale. And then shout out to Not For Sale in general, creative group. Shout out my mom. I love you. And shout out to everybody that listens to the music. I appreciate it because you have no idea how much time and I just put into every song. So I do it all for the like you guys, for people that listen, and for the random stranger that stumbles across a song. So otherwise, what's the point? So thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to Shut Up and Fail with Woodie Landeros. Stay tuned for the next one.